Hey, welcome inside the FOX Weather ROWI report. I'm FOX Weather Meteorologist Steve Bender. A little later, you're going to hear from the man, the myth, the legend, Dr. ROWI, Jared. He goes by many names, the Mustache Marauder. He's going to be joining us as we look at college football week 12. This is now when you get in that college football playoff hunt. And so we're going to be looking at some big games. Out west is where we're going to start. So we've looked at, we've talked in recent weeks on the Fox Weather stream about some atmospheric rivers. I don't know if this classifies as that category, but it's going to be wet and soggy at the Coliseum. And as we go down into San Diego, we got 3 games in college football that are going to be impacted by this. But it's all about timing, right? So here's when it's really coming in for Los Angeles and those areas of SoCal. It's 4 a.m. Saturday. There's no football being played, right? So this is a event that's leading up to the game kickoff is actually at 12:30 local time, Pacific time, 3:30 Eastern time when we talk about Iowa visiting USC. So when you get to that, this is the end of the game, and now you look at those rogue showers. They're a little bit further outside of the Coliseum, out toward Long Beach, Anaheim, Corona, that Interstate 15 corridor, but we are recording this days in advance. So it's important to note that if the tail end of this actually does change, that could have some impacts, not only on this game, but overall the games that we're going to talk about after down in San Diego. Looking over from the late work week into the weekend, in total, 3 to 5 inches of rain for Los Angeles. Big concerns outside of football for landslides, debris flows, for those burn scars. But when we look at the game, ultimately, this does look like it could have some rogue showers early on, and then the potential of actually having a wet and waterlogged field as you're starting off at kickoff. So again, this is the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, which means it's 12:30 local time. Precipitation impact is absolutely maxed out. It's a 10 out of 10, and so there's a big rain game. Along with that, you're going to have a decent wind gust. Then as that comes in, that's going to make it even more difficult if you are trying to do shorter throws, right? Because you're saying, okay, the rain, maybe that's going to limit my potential, for doing long balls. Now we're going to do shorter throws. I don't know if I feel good about that. Temperature impact is surprisingly high on this. It is a high risk of weather impact overall. And so I want to bring in, obviously, Dr. ROWI to get your insight on this because, this is a major matchup. If you're going to try to make any push for the college football playoff, these teams ranked right now need this W.
Yeah, this is an elimination game. Even if these teams win out, they're probably going to need some help. And, oh boy, USC probably hates to see this forecast here. Lincoln Riley's offense is very much, or in theory, wants to be very high-powered, wants to throw the ball a lot, where Iowa is very down in the muck. They want you to get into a defensive slugfest. This plays into Iowa's advantage, I would say.
That's such a great point. And with this, the type of rain that's coming in, it's a constant, steady rain. It leads up to the game. It's saying it's hanging around during the game that you don't actually anticipate delays, right? Because if there's lightning, then you could start talking about, okay, there's the delay. This does look predominantly just a waterlogged event. And to your point, for a ground and pound type of team to get dirty down there, Iowa's always difficult to score on. Even in great weather, they're known for, duking it out, as you had mentioned. And yeah, I forgot Lincoln Riley. Yeah, talk about slinging the rock. How is that even possible? But something with Lincoln Riley, he is just a offensive guru kind of deal where he's going to be thinking of some way to attack this. So it'll be kind of interesting to see those game plan adjustments. I want to ask you something, though, when we were looking at, and we can bring it back here real quick. When we're looking at this scale, I'm looking at wind impact. That was like a medium type, 6.3, right? And then we're looking at the actual sustained winds at 5 to 10. So is that an indication that it embedded in these thunderstorms, or not even thunderstorms because we talked about just rain, that you're going to get kind of some of those outflows that could kick up a little bit?
You'll get those gusts embedded in when the heaviest rain, like you'll get like some of those high winds higher up in the atmosphere to get brought down slightly. But it's really, to me, the rain really is the focus and the story of this high risk of weather impact here. It's because the timing of this goes out will just be a complete slot fest. And Iowa, as I said earlier, their passing attack has historically not been great. And even this year there was excitement around Gronowski coming in, and it didn't matter. He just turned into an Iowa quarterback either way. So they had that fight against Oregon that was a bit of a slot fest, and this could be actually even sloppier, despite it being a little bit warmer here. So. Just overall, what Iowa wants to see, the type of game they want to play, Now, granted, the type of game Iowa wants to play is a one-possession defensive slugfest. So USC still got a shot in this, but think your unders, think Iowa, low-scoring slot fest.
Yeah, this is exciting to think about that, how the game's going to adjust. You got two teams that are fighting. As you said, they're going to need a lot of help, but you don't need any help if you lose this, right? Because it's done. You're cooked. So looking at other areas of SoCal, because, yeah, we're focusing in. That's a ranked matchup. That's going to be intense. But we have other games that are down south, and this means a lot to the top team in the country. So let's look at this. San Diego, you're looking at some of that rain that's coming in. This game, a little different for the timing of this, but it comes in through the morning time. And then by Saturday afternoon, local time, is when you're starting to see this clearing effect, maybe by the early evening, the lingering rain in that area. So San Diego in total, though, still looking at a couple inches of rain, Jared, but nowhere near the intensity that we were seeing with, the game before, or with, USC with Iowa. So looking at this as of right now, kind of interesting to see what we could see. Are you trying to go Boise State?
I was trying to go Boise State, San Diego State here and pull that up.
You want to do that first?
Yeah, we're going to go through that first, of course, right now. We're talking San Diego. We got to pull that up right now.
Oh, you're right. I'm looking. See, I got lost. Good call.
You got a little lost in the sauce.
Dr. Rowe is good.
Behind the scenes, I was looking at our graphics line. I was like, all right, let's go drag that guy up. Okay. A little earlier.
Deep tease, I was saying the top team in the country. They're playing somebody from SoCal, but they're not going to SoCal.
We're not going to SoCal. If we're talking, if we're bringing the San Diego thing, we got to go here first.
We do.
And for this year, it's a similar story to Los Angeles and the USC game, except for, the timing of the models right now are leaving it so that the rain impact is slightly more uncertain. It's slightly more tenable, so which is why you're at that medium is more for the uncertainty of where it could trend. So
they're really in the tail of the kind of the river that's coming in off of the Pacific, where you saw Los Angeles, that was the bullseye, and so there's a big lead up where it's sloppy. I think this one is all about the actual timing of the game itself. I don't think there's going to be much rain ahead of it. It's going to be coming in as the game's starting, as you're talking about, but it's on the southern side of it where you're kind of getting a sweeping blow. But that's where we stand now. This is a Wednesday podcast, right? So speaking clearly, on a Saturday and looking at a Saturday evening game, I mean, local time, that's going to be 7:30 p.m., 10:30 Eastern time. This is something to watch for. Temperature is going to be into the upper 50s. And so that's one area, right? SoCal that we were watching for. Now let's talk about the Midwest and the Great Lakes. I mean, Jared, it's been fun talking about the first lake effect snow event of the season so far. We've been getting into that. And so now we talk about that clearing out by the weekend. And over the weekend, now we're starting to look at some of those games that are going to be impacted by the widespread wind. So bringing this out here, if you're able to look at the graphics, if you have a chance to see with the podcast, you're looking for those areas of that purple, the bluish color, where the gusts are 20, 30 miles per hour. Some of those could even get into the 30-plus mile per hour range in isolated areas.
This right now? Let's see. Let's even mess around with that here.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I was going to try drawing this right here. We're not going to mess around with it too much. Okay, we'll hold it off for now.
He's known for his science, not his drawing, guys. So taking a look at this. So this is the game, with full transparency, that I was getting mixed up on because of the location. But by the way, when we're looking at the Midwest wind, it is actually on into the afternoon. Evening games should be seeing some improving conditions, and we'll show you that with Indiana. But this was the game, right? So I was set up thinking Ohio State was going to UCLA. They were going to deal with that event. No. They're actually going to the Buckeye Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. And you'll notice precipitation impact, it's there, 7.9. The wind impact of 5.6. And so you may be thinking, okay, well, why are we not focusing all on just the rain? The rain is there, and why it gets to a medium threshold. But the wind is something that, when you're looking at this, it's so widespread and it's so blustery and gusty, it really has a major influence on this as well, Jared.
No, 100%. The wind threshold here is actually right up in that medium range where it would trigger a medium all on its own. It's right below that range. So the rain and the wind on top, you have two factors that are sort of in that medium category. The rain is going to be a little less reliable, but that wind is certainly going to be there. Kicking game is obviously the main thing you focus on, but a little bit stronger than this. You're getting into that range where you're worrying about your deep passing, especially 20 yards plus down the field, and then you also see reduction of accuracy in that 10 to 20 yard range. So I don't. UCLA's played a lot better recently.
Yeah.
They're gonna need a lot to beat Ohio State. And truthfully, if anything, they need this to be a real slot fest just to like give them a chance. Just to like if everybody gets slowed down, the difference between Ohio State's athleticism and their players and UCLA's is just gonna be that much more reduced.
I just also feel like even if it's a slot fest, Ohio State just seems so much more disciplined. You know what I'm saying? And so it almost turns into like they're just going to beat you in a different way. But I agree. They need a lot to happen. It's been exciting to see UCLA actually get a rebound and show signs of life towards this. But I don't think you got enough to take down
they need
dog.
this to trend way, way worse than it is. Because at that point, like you're seeing increased fumbles. And then hopefully if you're UCLA, Ohio State's fumbling the ball and it bounces into your hands and you get an extra 2 to 3 possessions. That's the only way this game ends up close.
That's
is literally through the weather effect, mainly through that rain and the wind cutting a little bit of Ohio State's deep ball ability. Yeah,
so another game that's here out in the Midwest. This is in Champaign, Illinois, going to the Fighting Illini, and they are going to be hosting the Maryland Terrapins. So Champaign-Urbana getting out there 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. What is that? It's like 2:30 local time or 1:30. That's 2:30.
It's 2:30 local time.
Yeah, 2:30 local time. So this is the one where, and it's important to note that because that hour time difference or whatever it's going to be is all built off of this wind impact. We're showing you that off of the top. There's going to be widespread 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts, and you see that for the first half. So watching this as two unranked teams right now. But either way,
these teams have had they're pretty solid rosters as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, I guess they both actually have had disappointing seasons. Illinois, especially. Maryland too, is like they were almost to that range where they were right at that ranked team earlier in the year, and they've kind of fallen back. At the key to note is that the conditions are improving as the game goes on. So the beginning of the game is really going to be tough sledding for those passing attacks, but later on, you're going to see things like improve a little bit more. So you go from like being severely impacted from your deep balls to being like moderately impacted, which is something that you can handle a lot better.
Yeah, if you got a late game push and you're trying to make something happen, this could be improving conditions. But that overall sentiment, that overall storyline plays out for our next game because we've got Indiana Hoosiers ranked number 2, and you're taking on Wisconsin Badgers. You're going to Memorial Stadium, Bloomington, Indiana, not far from what we were just talking about. But notice the time frame. You're looking at 12 p.m. Eastern, so they're actually looking at an earlier start there. And because of that, they may be able to dodge the worst of that early to mid-afternoon big sweep event. So as of right now, they're at that low threshold, but we were looking at this too. It's something that, of course, could get upgraded and elevated easily.
Close. It's close.
Yeah.
The thing to note with this is all part of the same story where generally the conditions are a little bit windier earlier and then moving on towards it later. For Bloomington, the windiest conditions are slightly further to the north and east of here as we're showing now, but the difference in the timing could bring those conditions in a little bit earlier, just a little bit further south maybe.
But ultimately, let's say it does get up to, I mean, do you think this makes much, I mean, Indiana's just so good. Kurt's
Wisconsin is coming off a nice wind. With the weather did help them out there. This though, without the rain, it's gonna be hard. I'm with you.
I'm gonna be honest. I just want Indiana to win it all. I love their coach. I love the way he is. He's that old school style, and so I feel like watching this. Yeah, I mean, even if this does turn into a win game, he's gonna find a way to get that. Also, last week, can we talk about that catch? You see that? That was insane.
I was at a Bucknell Fordham game in the Bronx while that was happening. We pulled it up on a phone on the side. Because, of course, it's Patriot League football, so, like, it's fun. We love it. But, like, then when we saw, like, Penn State go on that 17-0 run, we pull up for the Indiana final drive, looking at that thing on the side. I'm, like, got, like, the sun glare, like, off the side going through. And the immediate reaction is, like, the person who's got the holding phone, it's like, oh, it's incomplete. Like, no way.
Yeah.
And then we go and look down, and, like, you see his foot levitate over there.
Right?
Now for...
I've never seen that where your leading foot, you have the body awareness to just keep it elevated and then still be able to drag that second. Not even drag it. He kind of just stomped it down.
That's like all the 7-on-7 football these receivers play nowadays.
Right.
They practice these toe tap catches. Like it's something special, something cool. But wind wise, like it's right on that threshold. But even then, it's still like the point where a lot of your passing attack is still going to be functional. And then just your deeper pass is a little bit less functional. You want to rely on them a little. It's not totally done, even if it bumps up to that 20-mile-per-hour sustained range.
Yeah, and to your point, the timing really does tighten up as you get closer to this event. So we're recording this on a Wednesday, And we're going to be having bonus episodes, right? That usually comes out on Friday, so come back and check in. And these are the type of games that we really hone in on. Right now, we're building your awareness of ultimately what could be impacted. SoCal events, those look like the ones that feel like guarantees as of right now. The other ones, with the timing and overall wind intensity, we can get you that bonus pod as well. But if you're jumping in on the Fox Weather stream, encourage you, not only are we talking about games like this, but if you haven't heard about the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis, that we've been showing videos of that. You have an opportunity on Wednesday night, Thursday morning, get another surge of that. So, yeah, you came to us for some sports, but you might have a once-in-a-lifetime moment if you just look up as you head outside, Jared. What do you think about that, by the way? Were you impressed with what we got?
I was very impressed with what we got. The only thing that made me feel good is that my parents out in Jersey, they didn't see because the cloud cover was so bad over northern New Jersey. Then down the shore, they got it, and people further down south got it. There's a part of me that wants to go take the train out, borrow a car, and just go drive west until the cloud cover is not that bad anymore.
Do it.
But it's... Oh, I'd be a zombie tomorrow morning if I did that.
Hey, it'll be worth it. I'll tell you what. Tell them to give you the Fox Weather Beast. Give them the keys.
We should do the Fox Weather Beast. Aurora chasing. That's the one thing missing from like our Kopic and Gherkin's repertoires. They're not the Aurora guys. They do everything else. I mean, literally everything. Yeah, but the Aurora guys.
They really do. Hey, thank you for sticking with us, by the way, as we go through our stream of consciousness of what we love here on Fox Weather. We cover everything. Yes, of course, weather is our main focus. We do sports. We do Aurora chasing. We got it all. By the way, if you want to check out on Thursdays, we do Fox Weather Tailgate. We dive into these type of segments with the sports, along with great food, great competition outside. And then Fridays we do bonus episodes. So, again, it's been another great episode. Thank you for being with us here for College Football Week 12. Have fun, be safe, be weather smart, and we'll see you on the next pod.
Rollovers, weather, and that's what you're here for.
Weather all the time.
Weather,
all
weather,
seasons,
weather.
all sports.